A shout out to our podcast sponsor, sportsponsorship.co.uk. If you or your business are interested in making a real difference to the Scottish game, supporting hundreds of kids into regular football, get in touch with sportsponsorship.co.uk and they'll find the right fit for your brand. Welcome to Tinpot. We're back for more Scottish football action in what has been a jam-packed week of headlines. It's the one bloody week we only record one episode, and it's the one week with more talking points than ever. So, yeah, apologies for not dropping one on Friday the 2nd just past, but we had bigger fish to fry, such as our steak pies. My name's Tom Leask, as you well know by now. I am your host for the next hour, and joined by a 2026 version of Matthew Strugnall.
Howdy.
Who sounds just the same, and a 2026 version of Andrew Guild.
Hello.
Who again sounds just the same. Coming up in the next hour or so is all things Scottish managerial changes. Wilfried Nancy is no more. Tisdale no more. Martin O'Neill's back. We've had Thelin being given the boot up in from Pittodrie. We've got a vacancy still at Kilmarnock, which we'll be discussing. And there was two big derbies on the weekend in both Glasgow and Dundee, which we'll get into in time. And there'll be time in there to chat about our favourite manager of the season so far, who has surprised us all, Killie and Pressley. So lots going on there and lots to discuss. But before we do that, I think this is the first time in about 3 weeks that we've had all three of us on the pod. So it'd be good to catch up and see what's been happening with you gents. Matthew, what's popping?
What's popping, mate? Just enjoying the New Year's festivities of Jules Holland and the old Hootenanny.
Nice,
great episode this year,
nice.
Jules. Well played, sir.
I loved it.
Yeah, loved it,
Yeah,
mate.
Hootenanny guy over the BBC coverage.
Oh, big time.
No, I was joking. This guy, Andrew.
I love Jill Solomon.
Of course, he loves Jules Holland. He's a Rangers fan. I watched a little bit of the Scottish thing, but I just find it so cringe-worthy. I just can't. It's just...
That's the whole point.
It's toe curling. But the woman was looking professional.
The woman.
The presenter.
Amy Irons, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Good. She did a good job there presenting the thing.
The new Jackie Bird, some are saying.
The fireworks were underwhelming as per usual, and the street party looked like a living hell. So, other than that, I was glad to be in my house. Bed by 12:01. It was like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year. See you. Bye. Straight to bed. Good night. The kids did awake at midnight, not by choice, by accident, so they were with us for the bell, so that was nice, sort of. They were both pretty dazed and confused, so they were lying there. We were trying to cheers them, and they weren't having any of it, and they didn't want to partake in Auld Lang Syne, so fuck them. But yeah, it was good.
Yeah, they're not going to get excited about Hogmanay the same way they do about Christmas, because there's no bloody gifts to exchange. That's it, isn't it? The kids are only interested in one thing.
And my
Cookies.
mum and dad were so pissed they didn't even get the cheese board out, so I was pretty annoyed about that. But fuck them. My mum said she unwrapped a brand new board and knives and everything, but it was never used. So the next day, I put some cheese on it, and we had some cheese. So yeah,
Made it happen.
yeah.
What's
made it
your
happen.
5-cheese cheese board? Andrew's going to have this on lock, but
Well,
Matthew?
a nice brie that's warm and sticky. Sort of mature cheddar. Goat's cheese.
oh,
I don't really like cheese that much. A goat's cheese. And maybe a red Leicester. And just some schmegma.
Okay, bit of blue in there, mate. Bit of blue.
I do not like blue cheese, no. I'm not a blue cheese fan. I'm not
Andrew, take over from this mess.
take
Sorry.
over, mate. Come on.
What's your 5-cheese cheese
I
board?
think he was on it. I think he was on it with the old, soft cheese, hard cheese, blue cheese, goat's cheese kind of mixture. I think he was doing well. It's the accoutrement that comes with it as well. You know, the old chutneys, the grapes. You know.
What are your thoughts on cheese and cracker, no chutney? There has to be a chutney, yeah? All the time?
It depends.
No?
It depends. It depends.
Depends on the cheese.
I think I just like
Depends on
chutney,
the
to be
cheese.
fair, man. I just pile the chutney on like a little bit of cheese. And it's just
Chutney's fucking great.
loads
When you
of
get
chutney.
good chutney, that's the business. Yeah, but yeah, some cheeses you just gotta let it do its thing, eh? So
Mm.
too many flavors if you've got the old chutney on there
What's your
sometimes.
thought on the crackers? Do you like a salty cracker or a sweet cracker?
I've got
Sweet
to admit,
cracker.
You get
I
little
love
sweet
a
ones in the
I love a
box.
digestive. Yeah,
Yeah.
digestive in there. They're good.
A
Yeah,
wee chocolate digestive and some cheese. Nice.
not chocolate digestive.
Chocolate hobnob, Oreo, some goat cheese.
An Oreo, yeah. An Oreo and a bit of Philadelphia. Dairy Dairy Triangle.
Cheese string shaved on top.
Cheese string. Now we're
God.
talking. That's
Never seen a
more
cow
my
with that cheese
language.
string. Never seen a cow.
No,
Nah, no cheese and cheese string, bro.
There's
There's calcium and there's milk in it. Of course there is.
Oh, because the packet says so, mate. The little packet.
Exactly.
I don't trust
Read
that
everything
little
you read on the
string with
packet.
eyes.
No.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
I feel like we've digressed. Andrew, yes. What's popping with you, as they say, these kids, you know?
I haven't been very well, to be honest, since about Christmas Day evening. So yeah, nothing exciting. Nothing exciting at all. Taking lots of pills. Not really drinking anything, and not really eating anything nice. So it's it's been pretty shit, to be honest. But made all
You're a
the
fucking
better
hoot,
by
you aren't you,
Saturday.
Jesus?
So I know,
Yeah,
I
true.
know.
What a good way to
But
start the
yes.
New Year's diet, mate. Just no appetite,
I know,
shit in your pants.
straight on it, pretty much. Yeah. So yeah, been all pretty healthy eating since like Boxing Day, which is not like me, but yeah. Watched the Old Firm. Didn't have a beer with it for probably the first time I can remember in my adult life. So
What did you have instead, Andrew?
that was weird. Like a water or something.
Oh, not orange squash.
Yeah. I've only just managed to drink orange squash today,
Oh.
so there you go.
Jeez,
But
Mars.
yeah, pretty boring. Not as exciting as Matthew's cheese string cheese board, but there you go. Can't all be as exciting as adventurous as him.
That's it. That's it. It's
And-
some life. Matthew leads.
Yeah,
I went to
Start
McDonald's
our
the other
reality
night.
show.
By the way, just on Saturday night, I went to get a last double big tasty, and it was fucking unavailable.
Oh,
Unavailable.
what?
That
Unavailable.
happened to me. Yeah.
But they just don't sell
Remember the
their.
weekend before when we were on, Matt?
Yeah.
I told you I went. And did the same
yeah.
thing.
They just
Did
don't
you drop
sell
my
them.
name?
Then there's a picture that says "Do not serve this man." If he comes in asking for a big tasty. So
Should have got it ordered on Andrew's McDonald's app to collect. They would have had
That's
it
it.
hot and
Yeah.
fresh.
100%.
they've just ran out of what quarter-pounder patties. I don't think so, or what?
That's a joke. That's a fucking joke.
Yeah, I
you
have
should
no
be able
idea.
to
But
ruffle that together.
it's bad for Andrew if he's eating healthy now because the new McDonald's menu dropped today with the surf and turf burger, the
McGangbang.
chicken cheeseburger.
It's not for me.
Well, you got to try it.
Big Arch is back, mate.
Yeah,
And,
Big
well-
Arch was not for me. So
Once you've had
Chick-
the double big tasty, there's no going back to the big
And they're
arch.
selling Big
Yeah.
Mac sauces in tubs. That's quite cool.
well, that's good. I'll
Yeah.
I'll say that's good, definitely. But
20p apparently.
just put the big tasty on the menu permanently. Like, come on, give the people what they want.
People would get bored of it. They want something fresh every 6
Do
weeks.
people get bored of Big Macs? No,
Yeah.
I don't.
But you must do because you go for something else when you go. You don't always get a Big Mac, do you? So
Well, I will
Yeah.
if like there's not a good special burger on. And I'm never
We really give
disappointed.
so much free advertising this lot, don't we?
Yeah, we do. We do.
Like
never
they
get anything
Anyway.
bloody need it, but they can't advertise in the UK before 9 o'clock now. So get it up with them. That's a law.
Yeah, it's
Apparently,
ridiculous.
kids are brainwashed by adverts before 9 o'clock. That's why they eat junk food. That's why.
Yeah, because all the kids are watching TV.
Yeah, they're
for
all
sure.
watching ITV, Emmerdale, and
Yeah.
that. Oh, fucking hell. McDonald's, I'm going to just go in my car. I'm only 12, but I'll just drive to McDonald's. Could it be social media perhaps as well, and all the absolute nonsense you get on that, like promoting junk food? Perhaps so.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely nonsense.
Cunts on
Anyway,
TikTok eating
anyway.
100 Big Macs in 1 hour. That was me. I did it.
I was going to say, you
Legend.
top of your YouTube search things, watching these food challenges, you bloody weirdo.
Beard
No,
makes
not me,
food's
though.
class, man. That guy's an absolute machine. He just destroys all the food, and he's got a fucking beard. You seen that guy?
And he's
Beard
got a
meets
beard.
food. Yeah,
I have seen him, yeah.
Legend.
he's
Good
pretty good.
accent. Yorkshire man, I think, or thereabouts. Maybe Lancashire. And I know there's a rivalry, so I don't want to say the wrong one. Don't want to offend him. Tell you, speaking of rivalries, there you go. There's a great little segue for you. First one of the year.
Segue.
It was the Glasgow Derby at the weekend,
Old Firm.
as we'll call it here, the Glasgow Derby
Old
at
Firm.
Parkhead between Celtic and Rangers. Rangers taking the spoils, a 3-1 victory, having gone 1-0 down, a hopeless first half, a much better second half. Sees them and their, 3,000 fans-ish? 1,500? I don't know.
Yeah,
section.
not many anyway, yeah.
Sees them going home happy despite having spent 6 hours in the stadium in
Mental.
total. But yeah, I will chat a little bit about the game itself, but the biggest headline after that is Celtic are raging about the result, but delighted by today's news, which is that Nancy has gone and has Tisdale, apparently, according to Matt, just before we jumped on here. So
All red, mate.
it's a bit of a silver lining for their big grey cloud. Andrew, what was your take on a sober Old Firm?
On the game itself, I think it was the worst Rangers had played for the first 45 minutes under Danny Rule. Very passive in possession, not very aware of players around them, and yeah, just didn't really give anything really. So yeah, it wasn't like us, but to see how we reacted immediately after half time, the substitution of Diamandi coming on for Asgard, I thought he made a huge difference to the game, and we were clinical. Absolutely clinical. Good to see Chermiti clicking into place now. I've always said he's a brilliant player.
Pull the other one.
And
Got bells on.
but yeah, he had an unbelievable game. I know he got the 2 goals, but you know, he was strong. He was causing everyone problems up there. He was pretty skillful at times as well. You know, I thought he was thoroughly impressive and well deserving of man of the match. But yeah, it
Was he not
a very
Thelwell's pick?
He was, yeah, he was absolutely. But I think with Thelwell, you know, there's obviously not all of the signings are terrible, but it was just the fact that, you know, someone like Chermiti wasn't ready to be, and even Miovski as well, you know, with the amount of minutes they'd had, they weren't really ready to hit the ground running at the start of the season. But obviously his worst signing was Russell Martin, and we all know what happened there. But you know, speaking of that, I guess you know, you're looking at Wilfried Nancy. Obviously, we know what's happened since then, but it was a very, very typical Nancy performance. You know, on Saturday, you know, they were decent in the first half and were terrible in the second half. And the only things I really picked up, and maybe I've kind of picked it up slightly wrong, but I don't know. But on the Sky coverage, you got a really good perspective of I suppose Callum McGregor's talking the huddle, and how focused he was, and how he was sort of barking orders throughout that first half. And I have to say that, you know, Yang's goal as well, it wasn't very typical Nancy football. You know, it was an individual moment of not brilliance, because I think the defending wasn't good, but it was him using his initiative to find that space and score the goal. What seems to be the trend is, you know, that although Celtic have got leaders on the pitch, as soon as they go into half time and have a team talk with that idiot, you know, they basically come out and they fall to pieces. So it's quite clear what the problem is, and they've diagnosed it, and they've finally dealt with it. But yeah, I'm gutted to see him go, I must admit.
Were they too slow, Matthew, in your opinion, to get rid of Nancy? I remember sitting here after his first 4 games, just after we'd beaten them, at Tannadice, coming from 1-0 down, and they've obviously lost the Hearts, then to Roma, then St Mirren lost the Cup, and then to us. We said at that point, like, they've got to just sort of cut things short ASAP make the most of it, but they're probably not gonna to save face. I mean, he's not really done much since then. They'd had a much better chance of winning that Old Firm with Martin O'Neill or someone else at the helm. So, did they hang on to him too long? Did they give him long enough? What do you reckon?
Well, they gave him too long, I think. I think it was clear from the performances and his bizarre team selection that he certainly couldn't cut it or didn't have the right ideas in place for the squad that he had to try and shoehorn players into positions so he could play his tactics was just so naive. They gave him too long, but they also had to save face, so they couldn't sack him after like 4 games. That's ridiculous. They've given him 8 games, which is also ridiculous. But he should never been appointed in the first place, or at least give him. We've said this before. I think everyone said it. Like they should never have appointed him when they did. They should, if they were going to appoint him, give him after the cup final, and give O'Neill the chance to, or just give O'Neill the job to end the season. And as I say, so he can have his pre-season with Nancy when he needs to implement his style of play. Or but they certainly couldn't risk giving him January and giving him the opportunity to make signings, because it was pretty clear that the guy's not got a clue really. I mean, when I saw that team, I think Dundee United was the first time he played Ralston and Tierney and Trusty as a back three. And when you're looking at that, like, I mean, I'm no fucking football expert, clearly, but I mean, I know Anthony Ralston's a fucking hard-working player, but to ask him to play right centre half in a 3, it's quite a really, like, those 3 defenders have to be like prime if they're going to be like the only 3 defenders having to do the job that he's asking them and to play. Excuse me, Anthony Ralston at one side, and then Kieran Tierney that's still coming back from a long-term serious injury, and then Trusty, who wasn't even trusted by Brendan Rodgers for a long time.
He was awful on Saturday as well.
So he's just.
Well, you say that though. As soon as Brendan left, O'Neill stuck him straight in the team.
I know. So maybe it was a Brendan thing, but clearly Nancy had ideas that just were wrong. We're not
evident from the first game, wasn't it? I know people are a bit marmite with the whole tactics board thing, or maybe blew out of proportion, but it was clear that you're sort of creating this target on your own back by doing these things, and everyone should be themselves, be different. But I don't know, just something you were mentioning there, Matt. Timing is a very interesting point here. So if you'd waited until that cup final was out the way, and then he comes in, his first game would have been Dundee United away. Jim Goodwin's not had a chance to see how Wilfried Nancy plays. Nancy then has 3 weeks to prepare around Martin O'Neill and getting to know the players a bit better. You then go into those games. So the 2 after United he won was Aberdeen with 10 men and Livy, where they battered them despite conceding 2 goals, but they could have scored a lot more, Celtic, that day. I think if you come in and do win your first couple of games, even if you do those rogue things like have a tactics board out, or you're not the fans' number 1 favourite to take the job, or you've got a bit of a strange style, or you come out and say weird things in press conferences, you just have much more time on your side with the fans if you've won your first couple of games to come in and throw you into the lines then against Hearts, then Roma, and then St Mirren in a cup final. You're almost asking for the fans to be up against it with the fans is my point. So yeah, timing could have changed everything for him. I'm not saying he would have stuck it out and been a good success in the long run, but it's quite an interesting point.
I think so. Yeah, I think the timing was probably the worst timing, but I don't think there was any escaping that the guy was an absolute helmet. So I just honestly don't think that. Well, he was like, you wouldn't want to go for a beer with him. He was an absolute knob. So I do think.
What makes him a knob?
Well, just he's very arrogant. Like he just
French, mate.
Well, that's racist, but
the creek can open that door.
But no, he was just very arrogant and very dismissive. I mean, you look at obviously that meltdown press conference. You actually watched that properly. Like, he wasn't under attack. He was attacking them, and then started arguing with himself, so it was just like
Meagle.
It's just honestly mental. But I know he's under a lot of pressure, but from day one, he just was not a likable guy. And ultimately you are going from, as Matthew has said several times, a vibesman and Martin O'Neill, to then go into a guy who's, my way or the highway, and, fuck off if you've got any other ideas. That was it, and it was very clear early on that squad was not taken to him, and it wasn't just because they'd had a couple of rough results. They were not taken to him whatsoever. And to see even Trusty's interview before the Old Firm, where it was quite clear there was some pretty huge cracks there that he was trying to sort of paste over diplomatically. It was clear as day that it's a personality problem. Whereas if the guy was actually just a bit more honest, open, receptive to feedback, then, and he knew what he was getting into. So for me, I don't have any sympathy for him whatsoever. You look at Danny Rule, on the other side, he's come in, and done a fantastic job, but he's not playing, his perfect style of football. He understands he's not had a pre-season. He's tweaking it until he can kind of maybe get to a summer window and then take it from there. Nancy has to be doing the same thing. Of course, the board have to take some blame, but I mean, Jesus Christ, what a bomb scare of a manager he is. Like, what other team is going to be screaming to get him in? Is my main point. He's done himself no favours whatsoever.
I think yeah,
so.
The fan pressure is one of and the media attention to the Celtic job. Those two things are so far away from anything he's experienced in the MLS. Like, the pressure on the managers in the MLS and pressure from fans, it's just not the same. It's nowhere near the same.
But the thing is, he said it is the same. He said it in an interview. He said the derby's the same.
It's naive, isn't it?
He was talking about he understands the Scottish game because he almost signed for Carlisle or something like that. You're like, fuck me, man. Like, have you done any research on where you're going? Which is then massively concerning for whoever's hired him. Because whoever's hired him is like clearly like, fuck, you have no idea how big this club is. You've not got a clue. And that was, but he was so stubborn he wouldn't admit that.
When a manager's sacked, it's not just the manager that's failed; it's everyone that's surrounded that decision. Especially when it's been someone that's been sacked so quickly. So it's one of the few times where I can understand the frustration from Celtic fans to the board. But not to the extent that we saw after the game on Saturday, which we'll come on to now. I'm not going to compare them and go tit for tat between Rangers and Celtic here. It's not about who's done a worse protest, but it is seen similar to what we saw at the Falkirk Stadium in a way, where Russell Martins had to get a police escort out at the stadium. Celtic fans obviously going outside Parkhead and throwing barriers around as they've done before. I think they were storming into the building, chanting for sack the board, as they have done for pretty much all season. Just unbelievable, I don't know, ungratefulness, is that a word? I mean, how many titles have you won in the last 15? All bar one. You've won pretty much every other trophy as well that's going, and you've been building your club into this massive giant in Scottish football where it's going to be so hard for anyone else to kind of catch up with you financially, and yet you're still not happy. So, Matthew, you're kind of as removed from this as I am. Andrew's a bit more involved because he's got skin in the game. But what's your thoughts on the fans, the protests, the boards? Where do you go from there?
I mean, the sense of entitlement from the fans is baffling. Just fucking,
that's the word.
You're a fucking fan. Like, you have no. Just these blips happen within cycles at Celtic. It happens, and they recover, and they're strong again, and they'll win things in the next few years. So just fucking take the shit with the good and just fucking support the team and be a normal person. That's really all I have to say about it. Fucking get a grip. Get a grip. Honestly, just support the team. Like, you're gonna be shit for one season, so fucking what? You'll be good again next season. Big fucking deal. Like, it just annoys me. Just, I don't know why people have to get themselves so angry about fucking football. I mean, we love football. It's supposed to be an avenue to entertain yourself, enjoy yourself, have certain passions is fine. Be passionate about it. That's great. We love to support our teams through thick and thin, but there's a difference between being a real supporter and being an absolute knob who fucking thinks they can do whatever they want because what they sing about, I don't know, fucking whatever. Just It'll
Yeah,
happen. It'll get good again for them, and they'll be fucking fine. Like seriously, just chill.
they're well within their rights to be passionate about their football club, but they're not supporting they're not helping the team get results. Put it that way, which is what your fans should be there to do on a Saturday: be entertained by the team, but also try and support them and help them win.
They fucked up with the appointment, and they fucked up perhaps this season with the signings, but they'll get it right again. Like it'll happen. They'll just roll on again, and they'll get the right manager in, like Postecoglou coming in, and they'll bring in a number of exciting players, and they'll win leagues and titles, and they'll challenge again. And it's just like, why must they be there every year at the top? Why can't someone else have a go? You know, and they think that's such a bad thing that it's just, I don't know.
If you compare it to other fans that have sort of stood up against their ownership in years gone by, the reasons are night and day. Like the difference, people are the board haven't come in and tried to like rebrand the football team. They've not changed the colour of the strips or the sort of what it means to be a Celtic player or their ambitions or their aims as a club. You know, when I think Cardiff tried to change the owner came in and tried to change the strip red, for example.
Oh, he did, yeah. First season, yeah.
Hull City tried to become Hull City Tigers. The boy at Redden, I think, has an endless list of terrible things that he's done at the football
club. Yeah, I mean, look at Hamilton down the road, man. Like, Jesus, could have got out of business. Like, they could have gone out of business. I mean, be bloody grateful for what you've got.
Exactly. These are reasons to actually stand up and protest. And the reason that Celtic fans are getting pissed off is because they're not spending enough money on the team.
So you can win the Champions League? I don't think so, eh? Fucking know your place. Know your role and shut your mouth. To quote another WWE Hall of Famer.
Yeah. From a supporter of Dundee United and Wraith Rovers, like we always want the best for our team, but you support them to do that. But if things are going badly one season, it's not. You know, Hibs and Hearts have been relegated, and United have been relegated. Killie in the last 10 years, and when clubs like that, who are meant to be or should really be mainstays in the top flight, when they get relegated, do you see protests and throwing of things and abuse getting hurled? No.
Yeah, Hearts.
I mean, yeah, maybe, well, to an extent, but nowhere near as bad as that.
No, not as bad as that.
Just know your place. That's our thoughts
that
on
goes for you as well, Andrew. And your bunch as well.
No, you can go fuck yourself. Like honestly, like we honestly have. I'm not at that level whatsoever. We've had a lot of problems. We've gone down leagues. We've done all sorts of things. Yes, we were very vocal about Russell Martin, but it never got to the point where fans were trying to rush back into the building, causing harm, throwing stuff, whatever it was, anything that was remotely near violence. There was nothing like that. So, I do understand it from a degree from a Celtic fan's perspective, because I mean ultimately they've appointed the worst manager in their history. I understand that, but where I didn't understand it, and I've always said I've never understood it, is when these kind of similar protests were happening when Brendan Rodgers was still at the club at the start of the season. That's when things were just not going perfectly for you. You weren't spending 100 million in the transfer window, and you weren't very happy about it. Boo-hoo. Now it's the circumstances are chalk and cheese, but when it gets to the stage of how it got to after the Old Firm, I did think that it was possibly going to get to the situation where someone was going to get hurt, and or there was going to be a big problem when you're seeing fans breaking the police barrier and all that kind of thing and charging through. That's worrying. And that hasn't happened with any other Scottish club, so you can't rope us into that at all. But being vocal about it, fair enough, it's fine. The only thing they're doing is harming their own team, though, as you said. Ultimately, if they keep going on about sacking the board, I mean, fine, let's sack the board overnight then. Who appoints a new board? How does that work? What do you actually want? What do you want? So I don't think they really know. That's the thing. But guarantee you, if Martin O'Neill comes in and he does exactly what he did with the same group of players that he did, a month or so ago, all these players that are allegedly terrible, the worst Celtic players of all time, the worst squad of all time, even though most of them were in the title-winning squad of last season, then most of this will be forgotten, or by a huge portion of fans it will be. So what a load of fucking nonsense. Like, just...
Nonsense.
It's mental. Nonsense, exactly.
It does shake things up at the top of the table. Hearts are 6 points clear of Rangers and Celtic now. All haven't played the same number of games, I think. So level in games played, 6 point gap at the top. And now you'd like to think Celtic will be stronger for having brought in Martin O'Neill and got rid of Nancy.
Yeah,
McInnes and Hearts have been the most consistent of anyone, so they're still doing their thing. And Danny Rule's now definitely riding on the crest of a wave after that win. He's only lost one game domestic in the league and drawn 2. So it's very, very much a 3-way title race at this point, I would say. But some fans are getting pissed off that Motherwell and Hibs are getting forgotten in that.
I would say 4-way. I'd say Motherwell.
To those people, shut your mouth.
I think Motherwell will come third this season.
Above who?
Rangers fourth.
Above either Rangers or Hearts. Honestly, I really do think so.
Motherwell are on 36. Well, geez, Motherwell on 36 points. They've got 21 games. No chance.
Honestly, I really do think so.
Rangers or Hearts?
No.
Yeah, I do think so. Yeah, I think Rangers or Hearts will come They'll be tight between them and Motherwell at the end of the season. One of them.
What about Danny Rule's Rangers is making you think that they're going to finish worse than Motherwell? Potentially.
It depends on the window that we have in January. I mean, look, I feel very positive about what Danny Rule's done. I think Celtic will start to spend big in this window, and Martin O'Neill will get the players that he wants, and there'll be a different animal second half of the season. That's what I feel. But Motherwell against Rangers as they are now, and Motherwell against, you saw Celtic obviously under Nancy. I mean, they are, in my opinion, the best team in the league at the moment. The way Askew has got them finely tuned now, I think they're going to be really, really difficult to beat. Another big win against St Mirren on the weekend there. So yeah, honestly, I do think that one of the three at the top will fall, and Motherwell will jump in and take their place. That's how I see it going.
Load of nonsense.
We'll see.
Yeah, we will see. Did you the episode we did last week, Andrew, that you weren't on? Did you happen to listen to that? No,
I did not. Unfortunately, no.
You've not.
2 episodes to catch up on.
There was a good couple of quotes, wasn't there, Matthew, from Andrew about Motherwell?
Yeah.
Which I don't have to hand anymore. I've deleted the file that I had on them, but
he was not that positive, that's for sure.
No, it wasn't at all. I thought Askew would be a flop. He'd be one of the first to go, but no, he's honestly, if he keeps going this way, he'll maybe take the Celtic job. Possibly.
Maniac.
Why not? Why not? Like, he's playing.
I could see that. To be fair, at the end of the season, that's not.
He's playing
too far
the style of football that Celtic want to play, and
get a pre-season though, mate.
Exactly. So you
might
might do
a pre-season in the summer and see what happens.
Get it in the summer and off you go. But O'Neill's got it till the summer, so I don't know. He could be in for a shout there. Wouldn't be a bad shout.
O'Neill going to be a success then? You've just said that, Andrew. They're going to be a different beast second half of the season. You think they're going to spend O'Neill, get the players that he needs, and we've seen even without getting a summer window and having a squad of players that aren't his, he still did well before that. So you're thinking they're going to strengthen. How do you think Martin O'Neill's going to do, Matt? Is it going to be similar to his first 8 games that he had, or different vibe for the vibesman?
Nah, I think you can get them right back on that vibes train, and they'll push it right to the wire. I think it'll be close. I think he's proven he can get results with that squad, and if they strengthen it, then they'll certainly be in a better position. So yeah, I think Celtic will win the league. I said that last week, even before O'Neill. Did I? I can't remember. I think I did. I'll say I did.
It doesn't matter too much about that, but yeah, I think of course he's going to do well. He's going to hit the ground running. He's got Dundee United next weekend at Parkhead, which is one of the easier games you could ask for, let's be honest, at this stage. So if he gets that 3 points and the good feeling factor back to Parkhead again, then yeah, I think they'll crack on. But look,
Another
there's still
homecoming again.
two Glasgow derbies between now and the end of the season. Still got to play Hearts a couple of times. Motherwell, who Andrew really fancies. So yeah, it's all still to play for.
Come on.
Anyone's title.
Blockbuster season, mate. It's been fucking class, man. The season of
I know.
stories. Is
Been
and Tinpot
It's
ahead of
very
the curve,
lucky
as usual, reporting on all the news before it happens.
very lucky that this is our first season of Tinpot, and it's been the best season so far of Premiership action.
Definitely.
Right, another vacancy is that of the hot seat up in Pittodrie after Yimi Thelin was relieved of his duties following a 1-0 defeat away at the Falkirk Stadium. An interesting one, I thought. I remember 8-10 weeks ago, whenever it was, sort of saying he should be binned after we beat them at Tannadice. I've said this loads on the pod. They then went on a really good run of form. Was it 12 games they went without losing in the league? I think after that, something like that. Turned things around. We're right up into the top 6, almost pushing Hibs for sort of 5th, closing in on Motherwell. They've had a wee downturn in form again, and yeah, Thellin's been binned. We're talking about timing of bringing Nancy in, and I think the timing of sacking him is also very strange. I know you've got maybe doing it before the window is smart, but you've only had a bad couple of games, and before that you were on a great run of form. I just don't see what's happened. Maybe he's fallen out with the board in some way, or
I think
showing something behind the scenes.
From what I heard, I think he took, as far as I understand, I think he took the dismissal quite well and was quite understanding of it. But I think sure, it's just a recent downturn, but there's one thing that's clear, Motherwell have rocketed up, Hearts have rocketed up, Hibs are on a very steady incline. Aberdeen are off it. They're not. If he stayed in the job, would you be saying Aberdeen will definitely get top 6? That Aberdeen should be then disrupting, the top half of that top 6, if you like, starting to push into that and cause a bit of problems for the likes of Motherwell, Hibs, Hearts, whatever. No, definitely not. So the quality needs to go up, but things feel stale there, very, very stale. It just, I don't know what they need. I'm not sure. I thought with the appointment of, I can't remember the mad guy that, I don't know, eats bats' heads or something like that. But yeah, he I thought there would be a bit of a change there, and maybe this is his time to kind of put his spin on it a little bit. I don't know, but Aberdeen have only really been good to watch in very short spells this season. When you're watching kind of highlights and such, like, it's a half of crap football and it's a half of half decent football if you're lucky. So I don't know. I do feel it's kind of time for a change. I don't think it's massively uncalled for. I do think it's time for something to happen.
Yeah, I think the fans were getting a bit fed up with it, and I think they were going to let him go now to leave with his head held high and to have the happy memories of the Scottish Cup before it got really sort of better, and it can go that way. So to part ways mutually now is probably beneficial for everyone, and they're underperforming, and that's just a fact. So I think they need to be higher in the league. The money they spent on players, the turnover of players, the amount of players they brought in, the squad wages, I imagine, will be really high, and they just have underperformed, and the manager clearly can't motivate the players enough. Maybe he's too nice a guy, I don't know. He certainly comes across as someone who's very genuine and very sort of softly spoken, so I don't know if there's an issue motivating the squad. Yeah, where they go from here, I don't know. They've got a bit of a mishmash of a squad with a lot of nationalities in there as well. Yeah, they need goals. I don't know.
Yeah, that's been their biggest downfall this season. They've not been terrible at the back, but they've just not been able to find the back of the net. I mean, Matthew predicted the sort of player to watch this season as being Yengi, the new Aberdeen striker, who's,
shall we not?
I think had 14 appearances and not put it in the net. So
just fucking leave it out, mate. Yeah, you dug me last week. Like,
they need goals.
They need goals. This guy will never be seen again. Don't know.
Yeah, he's been wank.
Wank.
I mean, to turn it around, it's not. I think now top 6 is going to be their aim. Like we say, Motherwell are strengthening. Hibs are fairly consistent in this league, and what's a 9-point gap between Hibs and Aberdeen just now? Aberdeen with a game in hand, probably too much to overcome. So I think finishing 6th will be their aim at this point. Who's the right man to bring in at this point to get that sort of 6th place finish? What's the name that comes to mind?
I mean, it depends on the ambitions of the club, but I mean, I think they would really be wanting either John McGlynn or Stephen Robinson, really. I'm not sure I would take it if I was Stephen Robinson, personally, unless there was a really, really exciting plan. Well, you look at sort of Derek McInnes when he's jumped into that Hearts job, you know, there's clearly been a very, very exciting plan for him to get on board with, and you know that's carried him to the highest he's ever been in his career, you know. And if Robinson is moving to the likes of Aberdeen, I think you would kind of want some sort of similar assurance, I guess. But I think that's what that's going to come down to. McGlynn, in that case, I think might be a better fit, because I do feel that his ambitions from that perspective might be slightly different, and there's no doubt that it would take pretty dire circumstances for him to perform really badly. So for me, I think McGlynn would be a better fit at the moment.
I think McGlynn's a better fit for sure. Yeah, it's Stephen Robinson's style. Aberdeen fans and the club expects to be playing on the front foot, playing attacking football, and I don't think Stephen Robinson so far has really done that with like in any of his jobs. So
no.
Whereas McGlynn, Falkirk in the Championship and in League One, I know that's a different league, but he's proven that that's the style of football he plays. But also against bigger teams, he does know how to play those types of games as well, and set in a wee bit more when he needs to. So I think he's a better shout. Would he? I mean, has John McGlynn ever been in a dressing room with as many, like, I don't know, nationalities or as many big personalities as that before? When he's been like head coach or a manager? I don't know.
Would that be a short period of time? As head coach,
a long
time ago. I think he's a great shout. If he's got the right personality to manage a dressing room of players like that, I don't know. Perhaps he's good at motivating younger players or players who have gone a long way around, so to speak, to try and get them to perform above their levels. I don't know. He certainly is a master tactician and bloody genius of a manager. So I think Aberdeen would be lucky to have him. Whether or not it's the right fit, I don't know. Maybe they'll go for another foreign name again that the Penguin director of football guy has in his contact book. I don't know. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see. The usual names are banded about, though, as they always are when these jobs become available.
Give us those names.
Robbie Nielsen, for one.
Has he been linked to Aberdeen, has he? I know he was chatting to Killie about that vacancy.
Yeah.
He's in all the jobs, mate. Robbie Nielsen. Fucking, I don't even know.
Well, I think the point is that they probably need to go down a more traditional route. That, you know, that Yemi Thelin was quite left field, you know, at the time. Nobody had heard of him, and you know, it was a bit of a gamble on that account. Started off really well, and obviously then just kind of tapered off. Apart from the cup final win, but I think now they're not in a position to really take a risk like that. You know, I think they need to go and steady things a little bit, get the identity back at the club, you know, get the fans on side, and if they want to take a riskier move down the line, then fair enough. But I think they need to probably look at that local pool, and at the moment, you know, there are at least two really decent managers there that Aberdeen should be able to prize away, you know, have the budget to prize away if they're willing to go. So I think it would be foolish for them to take another gamble looking outside that pool, because if they get it wrong, top 6 is maybe completely off the cards there. They're at the stage where it's far from guaranteed.
Yeah. Who are the competition for sixth? I mean, United, St Mirren. It's probably about. I mean, you could throw Dundee into that mix, but Falkirk.
Yeah, Falkirk, United, St Mirren. Really, I would say. I don't think Dundee will. Surely not, but I mean, you never know. But
keeps proving us wrong.
I think it's really those three that would be, or those four. Sorry, Falkirk, United, Aberdeen, St Mirren, be vying for that sixth place.
They should have enough. They should have enough to get past. I mean, it would be interesting if they looked past Robinson and then they're the ones that pipped them to sixth.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
At Falkirk, vice versa.
I mean, yeah, exactly. Aberdeen have got, St Mirren have got a game in hand on Aberdeen at the moment. Aberdeen have obviously got a challenging week ahead, and our manager list as well. So there's some ground to be made with St Mirren, who are behind them, but United and Falkirk are sitting ahead of them at the moment. So they need to probably make an appointment quite quickly. And they, as I said, really shouldn't be taking a gamble, because I think a bottom six finish, would be pretty atrocious for Aberdeen, especially when you've got a season like this where you do have, massive, massive blunders happening at the Old Firm, and there's opportunities for you to get in there, and have a decent season. And Hibs, Motherwell and Hearts have absolutely capitalised on that. So Aberdeen have a chance in the second half of the season to kind of join that pack, but they need to get on it pretty rapid.
Celtic, Rangers and Aberdeen are all underperforming, but likewise Falkirk, Motherwell and Hearts are all overperforming, so it balances it out.
Exactly, yeah, exactly.
I'd say Dundee United also underperforming compared to where we should be after last season, but
yeah.
Hey ho, so we're all in agreement. I think McGlynn is the man. If you were in charge at Aberdeen, that's who you'd appoint. Is that right?
I'd say so, yeah.
Big thumbs up from Struggy for those who are not watching.
Love you, John.
He gets another shout out in the next segment. Once we've discussed Killie, we'll come on to another wee touch on John McGlynn. Killie vacancy then. So Kettlewell has been removed a week or two ago now, and Chris Thelin is in interim charge there. There's been Robbie Nielsen linked with them. I think Neil McCann is the most recent name that's been linked. Apparently, according to one of the tabloid papers, Steve Bruce's name was connected. But apparently that was just an agent pushing his name forward as opposed to them actually being interested in going for Steve Bruce. So, I don't know, Chris Thelin on a permanent deal, or do you think one of the ex-Jambo men would be the one to take it forward? What do you reckon?
I've also heard about Stephen Naismith and also Neil McCann as well. I read yesterday. So, yeah. Oh, sorry, but yeah.
He was certainly getting him scoring, his record.
Well, that's it. Yeah, exactly.
173 goals.
Just stick him in there.
He's player manager.
Stick him up top.
He's looking ripped in the fucking studio.
Also, Martindale was tipped as one of the favourites for the Killie job as well. Which was crazy. That quickly faded away, but there
was loads of names banded about initially after the news broke. I think from what I was seeing today, it looks like it's maybe just those two that have had the most advanced talks in Nielsen and McCann, but I don't know about the others since then.
Yeah, I don't personally. I really rate Robbie Nielsen. I think that he should be a safe pair of hands. He would be as well if they went down. He knows how to get teams back up. But I don't know. Like,
I'd go Nielsen. I'd back you up on that, mate.
He's been away from the Scottish game for a wee bit.
He's on Sports Sound every week, mate, talking about. He knows what's going on.
Yeah, I don't know.
He's the understudy of Lee Johnson at Sommel SK, which is the most mental thing. Like, how do you not have a full-time job as a manager? Because, like, I get, say if he was really wanting a Scottish job, none had come up and he didn't want to move away from home or whatever, so he's just biding his time and he's staying out the game or he's an assistant somewhere else, I'd get that. But he's gone to be an assistant to a much worse manager, in my opinion, than what he is.
Oh, absolutely.
The arse end of nowhere. Well, it's a bizarre choice.
That's a red flag for me. So, I don't know. For me, It's between Nielsen and Stevie Naismith. I think Naismith's obviously got a good history at the club. I think he did all right at Hearts, to be honest with you. I know that's a slightly unpopular opinion, but I think he did all right. And obviously he's then gone back into the Scotland setup and keeping it pretty fresh there. So I don't know. Maybe I would sway slightly towards Stevie Naismith to try and get them out of that relegation zone. But if you find yourself in there, lose a playoff or whatever, then Nielsen would more likely kind of get you back up. But I don't know.
That Lommel SK are part of the City football group with Man City, etc. So
yeah, I saw that.
Maybe he's
I didn't realise that.
getting in with the City boys from Pep.
Just
That could
waiting
Wait
for
for
Pep
Pep.
to hang up his boots or hang up his whatever it is you hang up when you're a manager. But
Your wee tactics board.
Yeah.
your pen.
Oh,
Nice one.
Yeah,
no, I'll say Naismith. I'll
say
stick my neck out.
Nielsen.
yeah.
Robert.
I'd like to see Nielsen in there. It'd be a good fit, and I don't think he left Scottish football fairly. I don't think the views that the Hearts fans have him especially are very fair of what he's done in the Scottish game as a manager. I loved him at United, and then he jumped ship to Hearts, and I think he did very well. Apart from, I say it every time I'm on here, I don't think the Hearts fans like him because he lost a few Edinburgh derbies. But he was always on the front foot. He was always playing sort of attacking football, but still had a bit of pragmatism about him. Spoke really well in interviews, and yeah, I'd like to see another Scottish face back in the game.
Yep, can't
Sounded-
argue with that.
Sounded a bit reformy of me. Whoops. Moving on, the final discussion piece is around the Dundee derby. I was not as happy as Andrew on the weekend after Stephen Presley's boys came to Tannerise and took all 3 points in what was an abysmal performance from the Tangerines. A first half where it was 1-0 to Dundee could have been potentially 2 or 3 if I'm being totally honest. We improved second half, but Dundee did what they did against Celtic, sat in well, knew when they could counter and when they couldn't. We created very, very little going forward. And I don't know, just we didn't seem to have the key to unlock the door. I've seen us go behind a few times this season and come back and get a result. So I was confident in that second half that we could still get something from the game. But it just seemed stale up top, to be totally honest. The removal of what was once called a Rolls Royce of a centre half in Bert Esselink, the removal of him after half time did help things. Ross Graham was back, and that helped get the ball moving from the back line a lot faster. But yeah, just a bit worrying for Jim Goodwin after a decent wee run of form. We'd had 5 or 6 games there unbeaten, and then to go and stumble against them is pretty embarrassing. But credit again to, as Matthew called him at the start of the season, Sir Stephen. Credit to Sir Stephen, who is now only 3 points behind us, I think, which is quite worrying. Did either of you catch the game or have any thoughts about it?
I managed to catch the highlights, and I caught the interviews, and then I've caught quite a few clips on social media of Goodwin embarrassing himself, saying Dundee didn't create many chances, and then there's like clip after clip after clip after clip of chances. So yeah, I don't know. I do rate Jim Goodwin. I don't think he's a bad manager. I think the turnover of players at United, was staggering. And the recruitment market, they had to be extremely creative in, and this season it hasn't really fully paid off, so from what I understand as an outsider, there's a little bit more noise about whether, it's time for him to maybe go. I don't know, maybe it is, are things going to get drastically better for United as the season goes on? Are they growing into the season? I don't think so. Are they going to spend big in January? Probably not, so I think it's only going to get harder for Goodwin. And as you said, he's in a slightly precarious position with only being 3 points ahead of Dundee at the moment. So when we're talking about that top 6 place, is he really the guy to try and secure that 6th place for United? I'm not sure. But at the end of the day, who's going to come in and do a much, much better job? That's the big question.
I don't think at this stage of the season we'll make a change because we're touch wood a wee bit here. We're not in a relegation fight. I think we're pretty clear of that. So getting rid of someone now brings that into the conversation potentially. If the appointment goes horribly wrong, you drag that into the conversation. Whereas the current form we're on with Jim Goodwin, we're not going to be in that scrap. And is the sort of cost benefit of bringing someone in to try and push for top 6 versus the risk of going down or going into that relegation scrap, is it worth it? No. I think we'll see where we are at the end of the season. If we're finishing 8th or 9th or 10th, I think it'll be time for him to go and we'll get someone else in for a full summer window. If he can turn things around, and it is possible, and getting that top 6, then I think he'll stay on for another season. But yeah, we need to stick to a system. We've changed between a back 3 and a back 4 far too often, which is it does have its benefits mid-game. If you need to change shape at half-time and try and do something different, it does help. But I feel like we need to just pick a style and stick to it. But I can see Struggy starting to fall asleep discussing Dundee United because he hates us. So we'll move on to Dundee. Your preference of the two Dundee clubs,
I don't hate
right,
Dundee
Matthew?
United, mate. I like everyone in Dundee. I like the whole thing of them walking from stadium to stadium for the game. And the swimming pool's good. Dundee.
And you like Lewis Toshney and Ray McKinnon from
Nah, no quite.
10 years ago?
It didn't go well for you, mate, so it's not as if you can have the last laugh. You dick.
Needless to say.
Just to put
Still gets
United, you should
under
know
your
your
skin,
ceiling, mate, and accept the fact that you're a bottom 6 fodder, and you shouldn't be fucking getting too ambitious and trying to sack Jim Goodwin, eh? Should be grateful for what he's done for you.
I back him.
Yeah,
I'm
back him.
never a good win out.
You can't expect to be top 6 every season, mate.
No, definitely not. I think we were very fortunate last season to finish 4th, to be honest. We got a lucky run of games towards the end of the season where Aberdeen dropped points and then we beat them on the last day. So
if Goodwin can bring
very
some
fortunate to
stability
get
in
where
a
we
few
did.
years in the Scottish Premiership after your yo-yo few seasons with Ogren and
Exactly.
the chairman, then I think you should just let him be.
Well, it's what we said about Dundee sacking Docherty. Like, after they finished 6th and then they get Docherty binned the season after. Like, in our opinion, anyway, at the start of the season, it was a bad thing to do.
I think a big question is how much of a turnover of players are you expecting in the summer? You know, how many players are running out of contract, for example? You know, because I think that seemed to be a huge problem.
It was a big issue last summer, yeah. I don't think we'll have as many players running out of contract as last time, but we do still heavily rely on the loan market and having to turn them over. I've not actually checked who's expiring.
A bit more stability there. The problem with the recruitment, though, I will say, is that it fits Goodwin well, you know, but it makes it bloody difficult to recruit another manager, you know, if you're asking him to use the same players. You know, even if you brought in like a Nielsen, for example, you know, it would be, you know, foreign territory, you know, for a lot of managers coming in, you know, at that kind of level. So I do think that they're in a position where they kind of have to stick with him, but it just seems very harsh to, as Matthew was saying, just to not try and sort of allow it to play, you know, allow it to run on and you know, build something. If you're constantly refreshing, you know, most of your squad, you know, it's really, really difficult to try and get any kind of stability there, especially if you can't shop in the local market as well. You know, you're having to sort of bank on bargains from abroad. You know, that's tricky.
Yeah, I think a lot of contracts would have been timed out the way they were because we weren't sure about how long we were going to be up for if we came up. I think we've been a bit of too much of a yo-yo club over the last, I was going to say 5-6 years, but probably a decade. So now that we've had a couple of seasons up, I think we'll stay up again this year. Maybe that'll be different. Maybe we'll be able to tie down contracts for a bit longer or manage that a bit better. But either way, good winning all the way. Finally, on to Dundee, the other side of the city, and we have again a comment from our Dundee fan. I remember he messaged in a few weeks ago about Mixu Patalainen, and we gave him a bit back, and we asked him for his thoughts on Pressley. Well, by God, has he delivered? So I'm going to read out his comment. I'll again keep him anonymous. If this person wants his name shared, he can let us know. But for now, he'll remain anonymous. Some of these are just points. You can just comment if you wish to, lads. Some of them might be questions for us, but let's go. Was going to save my Pressley thoughts until after the derby, but here goes. So this is written pre-derby. Number
Wow.
one, obviously was a Strachan-inspired jobs for the boys, quote, ridiculous appointment. No one could argue otherwise. So he agrees with us on that front. Number two, despite the sound of his voice, he does appear to be a very nice man. So ultimately hard to dislike as a fan.
One thing I would say is, true story, got dropped off from a Christmas night out by a taxi driver who had Stephen Pressley in his taxi quite recently, and he said he was an absolute dick. So,
Oh,
yeah,
Oh.
refused to speak to him and didn't say thanks or give him a tip.
there you go. Respond
Excuse
to
me,
that, listener.
I'm refusing to speak to you. You have a nice night, Stephen. Excuse me, I'm refusing this conversation.
Point number three, a bit more football related. This one, I got the job at a dreadful time squad wise, with all of Doc's boys out of contract and no Scottish boys willing to take a chance on him. Given he's had to mostly shop in the English lower leagues, his signings, particularly loans, have not been totally awful. Congreve, Yogan, and Danda have been decent.
Yep, fair comment. Fair comment. I thought Danda particularly was a great signing.
Yeah, the
Not
two
gonna
wingers
rip him
really,
to
really
shreds
good
here.
on Saturday.
God damn it. Yeah, fair enough. I'll give you that one.
Good point.
Um,
Good point, commenter.
I will just let him know he's got a typo here. He's put number three twice. So number three again. It's taken a long time, but I think you can see he has a style of play other than just sitting back for 90 minutes, which he has at least mildly successfully implemented at home. 5 wins out of the last 7, including wins over Celtic, Cup winning St Mirren, and the Tinpot poster boy, McGlynn's Falkirk.
Oh, how dare
Away.
you?
Away has been a different story. We've been abysmal.
Apart from on
So
Saturday.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean,
Clearly-
fair enough.
they're doing well at home.
I'd say he's actually, as well as having a style of play, he's reasonably adaptable as well. You know, you look at how the game against Rangers doesn't really count because we're absolutely on our knees, but you know how they sort of played against Celtic as well. You know, I think, I honestly think he's been a lot better than I ever could have imagined he would be, but he's still hilarious.
He could be a recipient of the Rising Star Award in the Tinpot Awards at the end of the season, or
Could be, yeah.
I just love
Most improved.
Presley's his vibe as well. Like he was, you see the video of them walking from Den's part of Tannadice. He had like a tote bag on his shoulder. Do you see the bag he had? It was
Yeah,
brilliant.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
that is just class, man. The guy's himself, and that's brilliant. That's what we like to see. Characters just being themselves, and he's just genuine top guy.
not,
and
not trying to
fight-
fit into the mold.
But be nicer to your cabbies, Stephen. Come on.
Yeah, that's it. Come on, man.
Hey, allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah, I wasn't there.
Yeah,
but I
allegedly,
heard-
be
heard it.
nicer. Allegedly.
Point 4, which is actually point 5. The
Still good,
previous
isn't it?
derby was probably... Oh, there's one more after this.
Jeez.
Was probably the worst I've ever seen us against United, including both 6-2s. Both 6-2s.
When was this? Sorry, when was
yesterday.
it? Where? I missed the first bit of that.
He said the previous derby, so earlier in the season,
All right,
the 2-0
okay.
at Dens, was probably the worst I've ever seen us against United. And that includes both 6-2s. I think we'll be better tomorrow, not saying we'll win, but coming into it with back-to-back wins, it'll surely be closer. I mean, he should have really backed them a bit stronger there.
Well, I don't
Should
know.
be
I mean,
braver.
because I don't think there was any massive reason to think that United would be so bad. You know, that's the thing. So the reason why they won the derby and maybe could have won it by more is because United were terrible. But you know, that's credit to Dundee. They turned up. They, as we said, they could have won by more. So yeah.
Should have been
Back your
braver with
boys.
his prediction. Should have backed them.
Coward.
And finally, I think if we finish at least 10th, which would be a pleasant surprise
Oh.
given the incredibly low expectations, the board will give him a second series, as Matt says, to save face. Whether we improve next season is anyone's guess.
I think
And he did say, to sign
yeah.
off, enjoyed the recent episodes, boys. So thank you
Thank
to
you.
the
Thank
listener for reaching out.
Yeah, I think if it
Very nice.
continues to have spells like this where they go on a wee run, then there's shoots of optimism for next season. Yeah, I mean he's doing well. He's outlasted Rogers, Nancy, O'Neill,
Yeah,
O'Neill again, Russell Martin,
Russell Martin.
Jimmy
Yeah.
Thelin, Stuart Kettlewell,
hmm
Tony Dockett, Ross County, fucking shitloads of folk. So
hmm
could you outlast Goodwin as well? I mean, who knows? Yeah, fair play to Stephen. I think a lot of people jumped on the bandwagon of ridicule after his comments about not winning trophies. He's not the right guy for that. And just sort of his general vibe. But clearly the players are now are or have been playing for him, and he's finding a formula to get results. So, but yeah, as you know, football is a fickle mistress. So in a couple of weeks' time, he could be fucking on a sugary peg if he lose 4 in a row. You never know. But at this moment in time,
This
in
is
this
it.
podcast, on the 5th of January, he's a good guy. He's doing well.
Yeah, I think he's shown he can perform with his back against the wall. That's the thing. He's come in under difficult circumstances. He's had a lot of criticism, as well as forgetting about the difficult circumstances being the transfer market, etc. Everyone was criticising him before the league has started. Due to the poor form in the League Cup. So he was coming in with a huge amount of pressure. To be fair, he's handled it. He's responded with some big results. And again, it kind of comes back to that, Dundee United chat earlier. It's about getting a little bit of stability there, and ultimately, if you can get through a window and gain a little bit more stability, then you can expect these teams to maybe start to climb a bit. But, I think our big criticism of getting rid of Tony Dock was that, what are Dundee's expectations? Are you expecting to be a top 6 team? Because, you're not built to be a top 6 team at the moment, just with the turnover, the fact that you've got a new stadium on the horizon, all these different things, ultimately you cannot be sort of fully invested in pushing to a top 6. I think it's maybe clear that wasn't necessarily the case. And to be fair to Strachan, he's got it right. He's got it right with this so far. Time will tell, and it's going to still be pretty tight, I think, at the bottom there. But with Kilmarnock obviously falling away and having their problems, and they're taking their time appointing a manager as well, then, it just allows Dundee to maybe try and get that wee bit of a cushion so they're not in the danger zone. But credit, he's done well. He's done a lot better than I ever could have predicted.
Than everyone predicted, I think. Yeah, we were all saying the same thing at the start of the season.
Yeah.
Well, 2 of us did. You and I, Andrew, we both predicted Pressley to be the first manager gone, and Matthew went for Jim Goodwin. So we were all wrong on that front, but
I was
you
less
backed
wrong.
him more than we did, Matt.
Yep.
In a world where sponsorship is more accessible than ever, that world exists at sportsponsorship.co.uk. Whether you're interested in making a difference to your local community or further afield, or perhaps you're looking for access to tens of thousands of followers online to push your brand further than ever, get in touch with sportsponsorship.co.uk. That's sportsponsorship.co.uk.
Right, let's I think the managers chat all day. We've got a quick quiz, very very quick quiz for you boys.
Who won the roles, by the way? 'Cause I've not had any deliveries.
I was going to wait till Thursday, but I can announce it now if you'd like.
No.
I wonder who won
Keep
that.
the listeners on tenterhooks.
We'll have a big announcement on Thursday. Yeah,
It wasn't me.
Good,
So,
good
just
stuff.
so you know.
Yes, a very quick quiz. I'm gonna. You could go against each other, but I'm going to team you up on this one. It's a very quick, fun quiz to do. All related to Wilfried Nancy.
Oh, God.
So basically,
Here we go.
10
You
questions. Wilfried Nancy was Celtic manager for 33 days. Are these things that I'm about to say more or less than that?
Oh, okay.
Oh, that's fun.
Ange Postecoglou, manager at Nottingham Forest.
It was less. I think it was like 27.
Less.
I'm sure. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's
More.
less.
29.
Wait, less than.
Sorry, 39. 39.
Well,
Neil McCann's coming back.
No, it's definitely 39.
check your
Wrong.
facts, you mug.
It even says 39 in front of me. It's 39.
Ah, that was like
Fair
20.
enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Chris
New year,
Boyd's
new time.
time at Turkish side Eskişehirspor.
More
I
like,
did. I knew he went to Turkey, but I think he maybe went to another Turkish team before that.
got to say less
So I'm
then.
not aware
Surely
of
he was
this
there for like a week or something.
I'm gonna have to say less. Yeah, I
less.
thought it was Bursaspor he went to first or something, but maybe wrong.
Go less, please.
Chris Boyd was at Turkish side Eskişehirspor for 134 days. Again, the answer is more.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
That was his record.
What was his
How many
record?
games did he play?
7 games, I think. Oh no, it was 1 game. He played 79 minutes of 1 game, and then that was it, I think.
Bloody hell!
Yeah. Number 3. So far, you're 0 from 2. Not a good start. The FIFA World Cup in 2026. More or less than 33 days.
More. I think it's like 44 days. I'm sure.
It's a lot of teams, a lot of games. So I'm going to say more.
More, yeah.
More, correct? Yes, 39 days again, same as Ange at Forest. Number 4. The number of days it took Russell Martin to win another game after beating Alloa 4-2 in the League Cup in August. Is that more or less than 34 days? 33 days.
Hell, I'm going to say more.
Who the fuck did he beat?
It was Hibs the next win.
Yeah,
Was
we'll go more
home?
because he said 34 by accident.
Yeah, I just gave away the answer. Sorry, might have ruined that one for you.
Come on.
34 days.
2 for 2.
Next up, number 5. Liz Truss's reign as Prime Minister of the UK.
I know a lettuce survived longer than her, yeah.
Surely less.
I don't know. I think
More again. 49 days. I mean, technically,
we didn't confer on that answer.
4 or less days either side.
We didn't confer, yeah.
We didn't confer. It wasn't final
we were
answer.
still conferring.
Talking about lettuce.
Oh,
Unbelievable.
yeah. You both said surely.
I said surely less.
Yeah,
I
you
said
did.
lettuce.
Wow. Number 6. Now we're on. Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up at UK number 1. How many days did it survive at UK number 1?
That was a fucking banger. So
Sure, that's like-
surely, back in the day, like things stayed at number 1 quite a while. So I'm
4
gonna
weeks. That's like
I'm gonna say more.
no. I don't know, man.
Never
Depends
Gonna
what
Give You Up. Was it more or less than Nancy?
We'll
Well-
go 6 weeks at number 1.
Okay.
Yeah, more.
More? The answer was more. 34 days
Oh, nice.
at number 1, which is just 1 day short of the 7 weeks. It was 7 weeks at number 1, but I cut off a day. Just
Great call.
That's the way it works.
Rick.
The amount of time it would take to walk between Ange Postecoglou's birth town of Nia, Philadelphia, and Wilfried Nancy's birth town of Le Havre, and back, there and back. The amount of days it would take to walk there and back.
Well, from Greece to France, basically.
In short, yeah. Nancy to Postecoglou, there and back.
Days.
Just go more.
Who's walking? How big are their legs?
It's done based on Google Maps' time
Right.
to walk. Yeah.
As the crow flies.
No, it's using a walking route, and then you have to get on the boat from
God.
Italy, so it includes a ferry ride.
Are you walking on this boat? You're walking around in circles, pacing.
No, you're going on the boat.
You're just sitting on the boat.
Do some of the boats go quicker than others on the route, or what time are you
I've
getting?
used whatever Google Maps says.
Yeah, you get in the ferry
so
like.
no.
Are you getting
time
an
did you
overnight
set
ferry,
off?
or you having to wait overnight to stay overnight in a hotel to get the ferry like after that?
No, let's just assume that you walk, and as soon as you arrive at the port, the ferry goes.
And then you just get straight off.
Where are you walking during sort of rush hour times, sort of, just before 9 o'clock?
Oh, you're on a
just
footpath,
after
so
that?
you don't have to worry about traffic.
No, but I mean, just busy people. Are you in the city? Are you walking through the countryside?
I don't know. I didn't look at the full
Are you alone? Are you with
3,000
family?
mile route.
You're just alone.
Okay.
No family.
More or less. Shut your mouth.
Stopping for meals as
Shopping
well.
bags.
You thought most about it.
I'm gonna say more.
More,
What do
yeah,
you
more.
reckon?
Correct. Well done. Again, 34 days. More or less.
I've been
That's without,
deliberated over that.
that's without sleeping. The total running time of the 2012 experimental Swedish film, which documents the production journey of a pedometer in reverse chronological order from a store in Stockholm back to the factory in China. The film was called Logistics.
How long was the film?
Yes, more or less than Nancy at Celtic, 33 days.
Surely it's got to be fucking less.
Left.
A film,
Wrong, unfortunately. It's 35 days and 17 hours.
a 35-day film
Yep.
about a pedometer.
Lasted
Fucking
longer than
hell.
Nancy.
Jesus Christ!
I think so far you've got
I've got
4
to see
correct.
Not a real quiz.
Maybe 3.
It's not a real quiz.
When I
okay.
surveyed my local Morrisons, the average number of days on a net bag of Baby Bell's best before dates is
Ooh,
that
good on
longer
keyboard.
than the Nancy.
When did you go into Morrison's?
Today.
Today, right? Okay. So
Survey complete today.
Replenish of stock.
There was a good. It wasn't just one bag I picked up. There was a good survey of bags.
It was
In that
salad
case,
bar.
I'm gonna say more.
Think so?
Comfortably, I'm gonna
Yeah,
say
it's not
more.
real cheese.
If it's fresh, batch on the shelf, it'll be more than 30 days.
6 months,
so
mate.
Comfortably.
35 days. Well done.
Yes.
Come on.
You've got the cheese one right. And finally, how long it took Stephen Pressley from start to finish when he was down on one knee to propose to his wife? Was that less or more than Nancy in charge at Celtic, the 33 days?
What do you mean?
How long it took him to get the sentence out to propose?
Oh God, I reckon that's a tight one.
I'm going less.
Was
mate.
this well? Did he propose whilst he was still playing, or when he found Jesus as a manager?
Pass. Don't have that data.
I think
Was
if
he
we're going to
continually
go for
talking
the
for the
latter,
amount of days, or did he take a break in between to
Oh no, it was
make sweet love?
continually telling his wife that he was in love with her.
it's got to be more. It's got to be
More.
Yeah, just go more.
Well done. All 10 answers were more. There's no exact data available, but experts have estimated somewhere in the region of 6 to 8 business weeks for the proposal from start to finish.
She
For
said yes?
Presley. She said yes. Yeah.
Good.
She was
Mrs.
also
Presley.
in the taxi.
Oh, naughty Presley.
Was that
She was
black
apparently
cab or
very
was it
nice.
one of the modern cabs?
Black cab. Yeah.
I have to
Hat,
memorise the
if you will.
Dunfermline thingy. It's called the Knowledge. Dunfermline. So
It
all the
was
roads-
it was an Edinburgh taxi, so it was.
bloody big spender over there.
That's it. Yeah.
Did you
Yeah,
tip the
making it
guy?
rain, bro. Of course, I had to tip the guy after that. I mean,
That
Christ.
bombshell.
And I said
Yeah.
thank you.
Now that you
Tell
know,
me your-
you get badmouthed all over town if you don't. You've got a reputation to uphold.
Oh, exactly. So there you go.
Well, there we go. That's
Great quiz.
Yeah, one of the,
thanks, man.
what a way to kick off the quizzes of 2026. Maybe that
I liked it.
shambles.
I like
Now
that.
Now that our predictor league's over, and we've gone through our quizzes of Christmas, our little advent that we did. The predictor league's done. We're going to need to come up with some fresh ideas
New
for
feature,
2026. Keep the listeners happy. So
No more Morris.
Maybe-
let us know in the comments.
Maybe some of the listeners can write in, make some suggestions. Maybe get a little poll going if we get anyone suggesting anything.
Yeah, please
Maybe
write
Yeah, if you
in.
want to write to Matthew, his address is. No, I wouldn't do that to you. Just any bin. Any bin you like. Yeah, but seriously, do let us know what you want us to do for quizzes and
You
for
will do anything
predictor
for
stuff.
reviews.
Anything.
Anything you
I
want.
will do
A Matthew striptease.
anything
I won't do that.
for views. Yeah, you will.
It's, thanks to everyone. Please give us a like and stuff.
Subscribe.
Yes, please.
We're gonna say bye, boys.
Cheers, boys.
Bye.